Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, everyone. Well, as we talked about earlier, we are in the age of the entrepreneur, and many universities are starting to put an entrepreneurial course or school within their universities because they're seeing that people are not being prepared today when they're in college for the jobs that are going to be there when they get out. And really, a lot of the jobs that people are thinking they're going to have when they get out won't be there when they get out. They're being replaced by technology. So we're entering the age of the entrepreneur because people are being forced to go out and create their own work, their own company. And so, and a number of these people are becoming millionaires. And so that's why there's more millionaires today than ever before, 9.6 million millionaires. That's more millionaires than in the history of the world. There's more millionaires alive today than all the millionaires that have ever lived. Wow. And so, I mean, that's just an amazing thing. And so the age of the entrepreneur is changing all that. And so that's what we need to do. We need to become entrepreneurial. And one of the things that, I don't know if you've heard of Laura Langmeyer. Laura Langmeyer is a shareholder in the Shopping Sherlock, and she teaches entrepreneurialism. And when you leave her course, like she's got a multi-day course that people go to, when you come out of her course, you're supposed to have a concept where you can create, through an entrepreneurial method, an income. And when people don't have that expertise, she gives them the Shopping Sherlock. She believes that the Shopping Sherlock is the best path to becoming an entrepreneur. And part of the reason is because of the coaching you get, and people have been successful in front of you. And so you have an example. And so it's so much better because a lot of the pitfalls are taken care of. So one of the reasons why we want to become entrepreneurs is because the non-entrepreneurial system, the employee system, is disappearing. And there's basically two main ways for the average person to earn an income, and one is as an employee, and the other is as an entrepreneur. There are two other ways, but we don't have to go into that because they're outside our reach. And so, like, that's for millionaire type people. But not to say that you guys won't be there someday, but we're not there yet. We have to learn how to be an entrepreneur. And employees think very differently than entrepreneurs. And one of the things that we have to do, because it takes effort to learn something new, is to realize why we're learning things. Why is this so important? So it's important to realize that there's some things happening in our world that may not have existed before that are out in front of us that we need to be aware of. And so every one of us is on a program designed by our society and our government. We're all on this program. And people work a certain period of time. And people today work from 50 years, 45 to 50 years, to 70 years, depending on how long your health holds up and how badly you need the money. McDonald's has a phrase, don't retire, refire. go to work for the McDonald's. Go work for McDonald's and then go work in the drive-thru, get replaced by technology. That's what's happening. And so, not to put down McDonald's, they hire a lot of people, they do a lot of good things, but that career was designed for younger people before they went into the workplace, not for people leaving the workplace. That's not what it was. I don't want to retire at McDonald's. As much as I don't mind McDonald's, I just don't want to retire there. And so we have to be aware that we're going through this transition in our life. And so we're going to talk about two alternatives. We're going to talk about an employee plan where we're all on as if we're working for someone, and what that means. And so does anyone know the age of full retirement? So the average male, what's life expectancy for the average male? It's like 67.6, right? And so the government's only agreed to pay us half a year because they're banking on we're all dead after half a year, so they have to pay us, right? And it's not funny, but it's not funny at all. But there's these numbers. They've been thinking through these numbers, and so we're going to be kind. Yeah, they always think we owe them. So we're going to be kind and go with 45 rather than 50 years. But there's a 45-year plan that every employee is on. And what happens is we get our first paying job in our 20s. So we'll just say 20 years old. So 20 years old. And so we start earning an income, and it goes up like this. It keeps going up. Once we hit around between 35 and 45 years old, it starts to level off. And I don't know if that happened to me. I reached a certain point I was with the same company for 20 years. And once I hit that point, I was at that point for 10 years when I was with that company. You hit this point and you stay at, see, this is income over here. So, this would be like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year, $100,000, turn that to K. So, but you reach a certain point with your company, and then and any company you go to, when you're at this level, they're going to pay you the same amount, and it's not going to go up. But we really enjoyed this. We bought a new car here. We started buying our home. We bought refrigerators, furniture. We went on vacations. And we thought this ride was never going to end. But we reached between 35 and 45 years old, and the companies and society, everything levels us off. Levels us off. And so we really liked this so much, so we kept going. Everyone keeps going. Because we have kids going to college, so we add debt, we want another car, we need a second car, we need another car for the kids, we want to send them to private school. We keep going in our spending, even though this isn't our income, this is our income. So this is debt right here. Right here is our debt that we're carrying. And so not only are we making the same amount, even though inflation is eating away at this. If between the year 2000 and today, the inflation rate has cut into our income 37%. So if you put $10,000 in the bank in the year 2000 and just sat in the bank, it's worth 37% less than it was. So your money in the bank is not safe. Your money in the bank is evaporating. So not only is your debt increasing, your buying power is going down. And then when you get up to the point where you're going to retire, does anyone know about what the retirement income is? The average retirement, according to U.S. News and World Report, in 2011, what was the average retirement income per month? $2,500. That's the maximum. That's not the average. The average is $1,160. So you're making say $50,000 or $100,000 combined income. You get over here, and you're dropping down to $12,000 in income. That's the plan we're on. That's the plan everyone you know is on. And they don't know. They might be here. They don't know they're going to get here, and they're falling off a cliff. That cliff is coming. And if you don't want to live in a double wide, not to put double wides, I need to stop doing the double wide jokes, but because I've been in some nice double wides, really. But if you don't want to be in some really subsidized housing or something, we've got to anticipate this problem. And so I propose a different program. I propose a 2 to 5 year, 2 to 3 year program, depending on how you work it. So we change this scale to 5 years, 3 years, 2. People can do it quicker. And the importance of this is the pay structure of the Sherlock is not designed to make a lot of money really quick. This company is built for a long-term gain. This is to take care of this cliff. That's what this company's designed. It's designed to take care of important long-term whys. There are some companies in the direct sales world where they give you a lot of quick money quick, and they're gone in 2 or 3 years. This is an alternative to the 45-year plan. You guys got that whole 45 years in front of you, And so there's still a cliff out there, but you're starting early, so you can take care of it. So what happens is, with the Sherlock, you just start investing time, and as you go along this, it starts to do this. And so you're able to replace your income as this income is doing this. This makes up the difference. This 2 to 3 year, 5 year plan, if you consistently, persistently do the things that make people successful in this, you'll get here. Plus, we're in trends that are going to bring us here anyway. Mobile commerce, e-commerce, the age of the customer, the age of the entrepreneur. We're in the middle of all those things. So this is what's coming. And so how do we climb? We're moving from an economy where we're employees, where we're trading time for money. An employee goes to work, they trade 40 hours, they get their check at the end of the week. You trade 40 hours, you get your check at the end of the week. You don't get anything residual. What this does is it's creating a residual income that not just my efforts and investment, but the efforts and investments of the people on my team create this. So how do I grow in this business? In the employee world, if I can increase my experience, if I can get a better degree, the company might pay me more. But I'm still going to hit this spot. No matter how much I know, no matter how hard I work, I'm still going to hit that, and the cliff is I'm headed for that cliff anyway. But if I can leverage a little bit from a lot of people, I can create a different arc in a different program. And so that's what this does. And the way that we grow in this is as we grow in our leadership capacity. This is actually, can I lead a team that does what I do, that shows 3 videos, asks people if they'd like to make money online and shows them 3 videos, asks people if they'd like to save money with an app and just share an app with them. If I can learn to do that consistently, I can change my life. And so I have to go into leadership as the foundation principles. Leadership principles are the foundation principles for this business. As I grow in leadership, my business grows. You know, if you put leadership in, if you put the knowledge of leadership principles in, the success comes out because people start following us. So there's 3 base characteristics that everyone needs to succeed in this business. It's the 3 T's. The first one is thirsty. If a person's thirsty for success, they're going to share an app with people. They're going to talk to people about this. They're going to do the things necessary to be successful. That's the most important one. You know, they've done a study of successful people, and you know, some people are outgoing, some are quiet. One characteristic that all successful people had was that they were thirsty, they were hungry. They were going to do the things that the average person wasn't going to do. There's other people out right now, they're watching Murder, She Wrote, or As the Stomach Turns, or whatever, you know, today. And today, here we're sitting because I'm going to do the things that other people aren't willing to do, that I may have the lifestyle before that cliff that they're not going to have. Right? And so thirsty is important. And then trustworthy. Can your team count on you? One of the things that we contribute to each other's success is coming to this seminar. Another thing is if someone says, I'm going to be there at 10 o'clock, you're going to be there at 8 o'clock, you're there at 5 of 8. Not the modern time where 8 o'clock is 10 after 8. You know, so trustworthy is I can be counted on to do what I say, and I hold other people's time as important as mine, and my team can count on me. That's trustworthy. And then teachable. Teachable. Because what's happening is we're all learning a different set of skills. We are learning entrepreneurial skills, principles, concepts, and they are the opposite of employee skills and understanding. Employees value trading time for money. Entrepreneurs invest time in money. Employees are pretty much work alone. Entrepreneurs work with a team. And so basically, these are the principles that get us started. And if you have a team and you have the choice to work with 2 people, 2 separate people, the person you work with is the person that's demonstrating these characteristics. That's how you pick the people to work with. And so we want to climb that same ladder of income, right? And if you go to every leadership guru, they're going to talk about 5 principles of leadership, 5 steps on the ladder of success, 5 stair steps to success. They all have John Maxwell, Ken Blanchard. I mean, they all have 5. They call them different things, but they all have 5. And we have 5. So the first one, after we come in the door with these, the first step is what we call an affiliate. An affiliate is a learner. You know, I'm giving away apps, I'm learning about online income, I'm learning about how the business works, I'm learning how to share with people. So that's the first step of success. Once I've been learning and I'm affiliate, and there's lots of benefits to being an affiliate here, right? You can actually, as an affiliate, it's pretty common to have a $500 a month income between the tax advantages, the savings on the app, and giving away some apps that people are using. You can get up to a $500 or $600 income without even sharing a license with anyone. So the next stage after that, I call a doer. Person's actually doing it. Sometimes sometimes it's called a performer. We're performing. And we call that here a star affiliate. I've given away at least 2 apps. I'm doing it. I'm beginning. Now these can happen quickly, right? So the next one above this is called a leader, because he's leading a team. What do we call it? Power. Right. Power. It's funny how this all fits. So a leader is a person. Now I have a team of 12 people, and I'm leading that team. Now as leaders emerge on my team and I'm leading leaders, I become a leader of leaders. A leader of leaders. Or what? Global. And then once you become a leader of globals, you become a leader of leaders who lead leaders, which is really the top few percent of society. I mean, Jack Welch is a leader of leaders who lead leaders. Steve Jobs, you know, people who lead big companies, that person leaves that company and the company starts to collapse. Why? Because the next person down is not a leader of leaders who leads leaders. Those people are the people that make the companies coaches. You know, you have a team that's doing terribly, you bring in a different coach who's a leader of leaders who leads leaders, right? That team will change quickly because of the leadership capacity of that individual. And we call that a diamond, or a leader of leaders who lead leaders. And so that's the stair. So what gives us, once we have this foundation, we concentrate on growing in these qualities, what gets us to climb this ladder? It's our why. It's the power of why. There's a great author. He wrote a book called Start With Why. The world starts with what? If you start with why, you can change the world. If you know your why is big enough and strong enough, you can change the world. And people don't know their why. Big companies don't know their why. I consult with big companies. They don't know their why. I talked to a boardroom of 12 leaders in a big company. I asked them to say their why. All 12 are different. The company's why, and they're expecting employees to know their why, and the guys leading the place don't know their why. I mean, it happens everywhere. People ignore the why because the what is so much easier. But if you know your why, you'll start climbing this ladder. Your why is basically your vision. And so your why or vision is this line here. What's your why? My why was I wanted to be free. Because going 9 to 5 to a company is like being in prison. I got to be there at 9. They tell me when I can take my lunch and how long it can be, and then maybe I can go home at 5, but usually I'm stuck there till 7, right? And so, and then I was stuck in that world before I met Chuck. And the last gig I had there, they tricked me. I mean, I went to interview them in this lobby that was all this big oak chair rail and, you know, crown molding and the big chairs and everything. I thought, man, this place is prosperous. I'm going to have an awesome office. But I never thought to ask to see my office. And so I interviewed out in the outside the office. When I got in there, I had a cubicle, and it didn't even go above my head. And so I'm like talking to VPs at Boeing and Anheuser-Busch about, because the company wanted to change into a different kind of company. That's why they brought me in. But they couldn't leave who they were. And so I'm trying to talk to a VP. This has really happened. I'm talking to a VP at Phantom Works. And he's like, I'm in a bullpen, and people are yelling over me. You know, eventually, they let me go in the broom closet. I would carry my phone into the broom closet. So I went from anyway. But I met Chuck, and I can office at home. Isn't that cool? Yeah, you know? Yeah. 52% of small businesses are home-based. There is a home-based movement going right now. We have it, man. If you can work from home, you got it. So this is your why or your vision. Now the tension between these steps, between the realizing of this vision or why, and drives you up these steps. So you have to have enough tension between each of these steps to force you up, because I've got to do my why. I got to get free, or I got to pay for my my children's college education, or I got to get out of debt, or I got to pay off my house. Whatever your why is, it's got to be big enough to give you enough tension, but not too big to have no tension. If you can't believe it, there's no tension. So what happens, as you go higher up this ladder, the tension starts from your why to lessen. So you have to change your why. So I don't want to only be free. I want to be free with enough money to make a difference. So I just stretched my why, right? And so here I've moved my why out further to create more tension between here and here and between here and here. So you keep moving your vision, your why, further out so that it helps you climb the stairs. If you're not moving up, you've forgotten your why. People call me up and say, can you help me with something? Well, I'll say, well, do you have a savings story? You know, I'm having trouble giving away apps. Do you have a savings story? No. Well, go out and get a savings story and call me back. Because if they don't know the app's saving them money, if they're not passionate about the app, I can't help them. They have to have enough tension between their why and their reality to get them to move up the stairs. Because this isn't easy. If this was easy, everyone would do it. If this was easy, they wouldn't be paying us over 60% of the revenues coming into the company. I want 60% and share it with you of $1 billion. If we all get up here, we're going to have $1 billion company. I'm looking at future millionaires. You know what you're going to give your kids? You're going to give kids a whole different life than you had when you were given what you were given. Look, it's for your kids, right? It's for your kids, right? I mean, it's amazing what we can do. Freedom is a wonderful thing. And so this is the ladder to success, the stairs to success, and I'll see you at the top. Thank you.